Here I am getting started on the Pflaumenkuchen. This is a very easy recipe. There's no yeast involved. So I have already got in the bowl my flour, my baking powder, and my sugar. That was all whisked together so that the dry ingredients have a chance to activate. And then I put in a stick of cold butter, and I used my mom's old pastry blender for this. I'm pretty sure this is a very antiquated way of doing it, but something about this feels very much like home for me. Now I'm putting in the egg. I have pre-whisked the egg to beat it up. So what's gonna happen is I'll get a nice sort of dough out of this, I think, and then it's going to go in the fridge for an hour covered up. I'm gonna turn this out now onto the pastry mat. And roll up my sleeves. Very crumbly. Okay, I have to really squish it. Yeah, I have to squish it very hard with my hands. Probably should have tried the yeast one. What do you think? This is like a crumbly disaster. But maybe it'll make a nice cake. Who knows? I have to trust the process, right? Look at this. It's crazy. All right, I think something's happening, but I can't be sure. Rhonda, you probably know what kind of a mess I'm getting into here. Well, I think I'm okay. There. I'm gonna put this back in the bowl now. Cover and let stand in the fridge for 1 hour. I'm finally back after waiting for an hour for this dough in the fridge. It didn't rise because, again, it's not a yeast-based dough, but what I am realizing, and I should have read a little more of the recipe details before I began my video with you, this is a shortbread type of a dough or a crust for the bottom of the Pflaumenkuchen. So that makes a lot more sense to me, the way it has turned out so very crumbly. I'm going to transfer it into this pan. Sadly, I am realizing also that I cannot use the lovely little Pampered Chef pans tonight. I'm sorry, Pampered Chef. But that's because the recipe calls for an 8x8 pan. So I just thought I will have better luck with it if I'm using the correct sized pan for the ingredients and the quantities and the temperature and the time limit on this recipe. So here goes. I'm going to put the dough into the pan. What it does say is that you do not need to grease the pan because apparently there's enough moisture in the dough with the butter that's in there, and the plums themselves will give off quite a bit of moisture into the cake as well. And then there's more butter even again in the streusel topping. So again, no need to grease the pan. Here's our crust, or the bottom of our cake, and it's pressed nicely into the pan. Now you can see how really crumbly that is. And I'm now going to lay the plums in, and it said to really, it didn't say to make them much smaller than this, so I'm just going to put a very dense layer of plums on the top, which is what it said. A thick layer of plums. I might have too many cut here, I don't know. If that's the case, I'll just eat those pieces that are left over. They're so delicious. And look, I get to eat all that's left over. Here's what it looks like with the plums on top. And now I'm going to add the streusel. It's a very crumbly, kind of almost dry mix. I'm not going to put all of this on because I feel like it's going to be too much, but here's my little friend. Say hello to my little friend. Here it is, ready to go in the oven now. How do you like them apples? I mean, plums. 45 minutes at 350, and I'll be back. Time to pull it out of the oven. Oh boy, does that ever smell amazing. Have a look. Hey, wow. I can hear it sizzling. I can't wait to eat this.